Grow, Sell, and Retire is the podcast for the lazy overachiever. B.D. Dalton, author of True Gravity and Grow, Sell, and Retire, is here to give you his 25 years of secrets, tips, and systems to take your business to the next level. This is your chance to find out what is working in sales, marketing, and running your business. If you stop learning, you stop burning. Now, here's your host, BD, with today's GSR podcast.
Hey everybody, BD Dalton here. Welcome to the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast. Today's podcast, to help you be a lazy overachiever, is all about goals, business, and the yellow jersey. So right now we're sitting in the middle of July, and it is one of my favorite times of year. It is the Tour de France. So have you ever been into it? No, a lot of people haven't. So everybody knows about the yellow jersey. They know about the Lance Armstrong controversy. They know about doping, all these different things. But guess what? Sometimes it comes down to what your competition's doing, what you're doing, how everything is working, and how we're making it happen overall to make our goals, or what we're going to call today objectives, go and come together. So if you don't know anything about the Tour de France, so basically it's 24 stages. There's 3 rest breaks in between that. It's all throughout July. And guess what? There's teams, there's individuals, there's all sorts of stuff. So you think that, like in business, there's only one goal. No, there's lots and lots of goals. In the Tour de France, we have the general classification, which is the main rider that has the best times. You have the King of the Mountains, which is the red polka dot jersey that makes it really cool. Those are the people that gain points going through different parts of the race at the first one through those, or actually get points for each stage. There's the overall points leader, which is in the green jersey, which over the last couple of years has been Peter Sagan and quite a few people. But in general, he's one of those weird people that actually gets lots and lots of press, lots of fun, very, very much a personality. And then you also get the young rider. So what we're going through here is it doesn't mean that everybody has the same goal. Not everybody wants to be the biggest company in the industry. Not everybody wants to have the most clients. A lot of people have a lot of different goals and objectives. So when we're looking at this, we have some people in this that are going head to head. You've got Chris Froome, you've got Geraint Thomas. You've got all sorts of people that are fighting to be in that yellow jersey, to have the overall best time. But guess what? You also have teams. The better your team is overall, the higher your sponsorship. These cyclists get paid to ride, just like you get paid to do business. So let's look at this. So you have an overall goal. The goal of this, if we break it down just like the Tour de France, is to raise the winner of the Tour de France. So it might be King of the Mountains. It could be having the best people in your area and have the most clients in your area. It could be able to sell your business in the next 2 years. It could be to be the best newcomer, the up and coming, to knock out the big boys. It could be a disruptor. You could be all sorts of different things. So let's sit down and make sure that we turn those from objectives or goals into objectives. And how do we do that? We want to make sure that we do a lot of things. But in general, if you look at what we're doing here, some of the normal goals that people have is to increase sales by 20%, or make more money, or have new clients, or even better clients. Are those your goals? Those are your goals? Those right now are dreams, because they need to be written down. One thing. The second thing is they need to be more specific. So when we start to bring them into specific and we start to talk about our launch package, we talk about objectives, strategies, and tactics. So those objectives have to be very, very what? And guess what? We love threes here. You know we love threes. So here's the 3 ways that we're going to make goals into objectives. Objectives are going to be client specific. They're going to be money specific, and they're going to be outcome specific. So when we start to look at that, I want to make sure that you're writing this down. So we've got the very first time is client specific. So think about your clients. Take a second, hit pause on this, and start to think about your clients. Start to think about what industry they're in, what size they are, what makes them happy, and what makes you happy about dealing with them. So if we go back to industry, is it a specific industry? Is it rail? Is it automotive? Is it teaching? Is it the services sector? So you're talking about accountants and solicitors and things like that. What size? Is it 1 employee, 5 employees, 10 employees, 1,000 employees, 100,000 employees? What is the size of the business you're looking for? And also, what is their turnover? What is the amount of money that they need to have to afford a package like you? If you are a seller of a Gulfstream jet, Learjet, or a Gulfstream jet, then you want to make sure that these people have hundreds of thousands of employees and billions of turnover so they can afford to make sure that they can pay for a Gulfstream and the benefits that your Gulfstream brings to them. If you are selling a software package that helps people have basic bookkeeping skills and you only are looking for 1, 3, 5 employee companies, guess what? There's millions of them out there. So you have a much bigger scope, but you're also competing for a much wider spread of wallet. So the next one is, what makes you happy to deal with them? What makes you feel good? Do these people love you? Do they respect you? Do they value what you say? Do they make sure that you feel good just as much as you can make a difference in their life? If you are just another cereal box in their cereal cupboard, are you really changing their life? If you are bran flakes or something like that, and you guess what? You help it so that they can have less cancer, or they have a lower probability of having cancer if in combination with a better diet, they were using bran flakes to make sure that they were more regular, then guess what? You are giving them a benefit and you're making yourself happy. Okay, so now let's look at money specific. So money specific is, what is the size of their turnover? So if you're really writing this down, what is the size of the turnover or size of your client's net worth if you're selling to clients? What do they buy? What do they do? So you talk about demographics, you talk about psychographics. What do they buy and why do they buy it? So guess what? On the money specific, you also have to make sure that they can pay you. So they have ability to pay you. And the big thing comes down to, and I call it CLV, client lifetime value, is, are they going to be able to grow with you? Do they have an ability to grow? So that's size, ability to pay, and ability to grow. And then the last one is outcome specific. So we've talked about client specific, money specific, and now outcome specific. So we have to have some now goals. So if we're talking about objectives, what are your now objectives? How many more of these clients do you want to take on, and how many more do you want to give away or get rid of or disengage to make sure that you're not crowding your staff out with a bunch of people that just ask a bunch of questions that don't pay you enough money? And your later goals is, guess what? Now that we're moving from getting rid of some clients and bringing on a couple, what do we want our clients to look like in the future? Do we want them to be bigger? Do we want them to be better? Do we want them to have more needs from us? Because it's easier to sell more needs to one client than it is to sell one need to lots of clients, because you get that value, you get that understandability, and guess what? You get that growth potential. The very last one is end goals. So when you sell this business, or you hand it on to your kids or your management team as they MBO, management buyout, where they come in and buy you out, what do you want your clients to look like for them? So how are we going to change our clients is our now goal. Our later is, what do we want our ideal client to look like? And then the last one is end goals, or your objectives at the very end. What do we think that the person that buys our company or takes over our company is going to want their clients to look like? The more specific that you can make this, the better off you're going to be, and the more of a lazy overachiever you're going to be, because your marketing, your sales, your targets will be easier to control because you have the ability to take control of that and make yourself, like we talk about with the Tour de France. If your goal is to have those things, and we could talk about this in the Tour de France things, is objectives in your tactics as you come through it. Objectives, strategies, and tactics. The tactics is, what are we going to do on a day-to-day basis? On a strategy is, okay, we're going to conquer the mountains with this, we're going to conquer the team time trials with this, and we're going to not worry about the king of the hills or the king of the mountains. We're not going to worry about that. So each of those things are the strategies, and then the overall objective is to win this, this, and this, so that we can raise in Paris on the Champs-Élysées this trophy. It could be the king of the mountains. It could be the young rider. It could be getting somebody ready to be the points leader and take Sagan out of the picture. Overall, this is your business. This is your July. This is your Tour de France. And the best way that you can go through making sure that all of this happens in a normal fashion is to put your objectives in place. Turn them from dreams into goals, into specific objectives. This has been BD Dalton on the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast. If you want more information, go to bartdaltonconsulting.com. I think we're moving over to bdc3.com, but that makes it so that you don't have to type in my name lots of times. And guess what? With all 7 of us that are working in the company now, they don't want to have my name over the door anymore. And so you have to start to think about that too as you start to look at your business. Unless you are Johnson & Johnson or Kroger or somebody like that, and you can afford to just keep your name over the door, make sure you're making these little tweaks as you're going along to make your life easier and also to make your transition into real life so that when you grow, sell, and retire, you can make a big difference in the world. Go out there, make profits, have fun, enjoy yourself. And like I said, it didn't say make money, it said make profits. Enjoy yourself. And guess what? There's only 1 week left, and it looks like between Geraint Thomas, and by the time you get this, we're going to be about a day or 2 away from crowning the man with the yellow jersey. I'll be on a plane flight to the States, but I wanted to make sure you had this in your ears to make sure that everything was coming together for you. Hope you've had an amazing July and a great finish to the end of the year. Don't forget the mountain stages. Don't forget the domestiques. And guess what? Your general classification is you standing on a podium, wherever that podium is, raising that award in the air as you ride off into the sunset or you start your next journey into Grow, Sell, and Retire. This is BD Dalton, your podcast host, enjoying myself. Hopefully you are too. Pass this along. Make sure you tell everybody else about it. Like, subscribe, and make sure you keep coming back here for more quick sales tips, secrets from the Lazy Overachiever.
Thanks for joining us on Grow, Sell, and Retire. For more information, tools, or to book one of our team members to work with your team, business, or to speak at your event or conference, visit bartdaltonconsulting.com or email contact@bartdaltonconsulting.com. Buy the book True Gravity on Amazon. If you want to work for the rest of your life, that is your business. If you don't, that is ours.